You know I'm a hustler, hustler. You know I'm a hustler, hustler.
Hey, it's your boy Lauren back again with another episode of Get Biz, Do Biz, and Get Pay. Today I have Tommy DeLong from Houston, right?
Yes, sir.
He's the owner of a few company down there. He run Houston Pool and Patio and also have a sister company, TD Outdoor Living. And he is also a Christian based, he provide Christian based coaching services. Uh, Welcome, man.
Good to connect, man. Look forward to it. I like you digging the new digs for sure, man. Studio
Yeah.
looks great.
Yeah, well, thank you. I had an idea back in the day, I think back in November or December, maybe last year. I'm like, you know what? I want to start a podcast. So, but I didn't have any equipment. But I'm a fan of imperfect actions.
That's great, man. Well, you already brought up a good point too, being a man of imperfect action, because that's something that I kind of struggle with on and off, off and on. I think probably most entrepreneurs, business guys, are the same way. You want to get everything perfect before you do anything, and it's like, man, it ain't. Even if you think it's perfect, it ain't never going to be perfect. It's something you can continue to build towards, and strive for. But perfection is, I don't think that's really an end. I don't think that has kind of chasing the gold at the end of a rainbow. So whenever you said that, I mean, that's a great point. Being just imperfect action, because once you get started, I mean, it's going to compound, right? I mean, the initial action is what breeds the action, but you gotta take that first step. You can't run a marathon if you don't start, with that first mile, right? So I mean, that's great, and that's kind of a big thing for me this year. Just turning 40 and getting my two companies more systemized, working with some guys on that, and getting into Christian based business and some life coaching is just, don't try not to overthink it, man. Just get it going. Like you said, it don't matter if you're on your phone, on your webcam, just get it going, and it's gonna start snowballing for sure. So yeah, it's looking good, man.
Y- Yeah, so I'm a big fan of taking action, right? That's I think somebody told me that's one of my strength and also sometimes my weaknesses.
Yeah.
So you can't be too extreme. So I don't I'm not a good planner. I think about something and I just do it without even thinking about it, and in some cases that's my pro detrimental, but like in small businesses I think it helped me a lot because it give me a quick feedback loop
Hmm.
to where if I will always do more than the planner at this stage. Maybe when I get to a certain stage, I need more planning. But at this stage, because my feedback loop is always quicker, right? Okay, need a sales team. What do I do? Okay, go hire a sales guy. I don't even think about it. Oh shit, he didn't work out. Oh, bye. Go hire another one.
Yeah.
And then second one didn't work out well. What did I do wrong? Or what didn't I do? Oh, I didn't have a process for them. I didn't have training for them. I didn't
Mhm.
have all this shit for them. Well, maybe I should go get some training. Maybe I should go get a sale process. Okay, now I want to hire instead of one guy, hire two guys so I can train two of them at the same time. And with the process, be patient enough, but I to be able to get through that training and ride along all that bullshit. But if I didn't hire the first two sales guy,
Yep, exactly.
I would never know.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, you don't know what you don't know, right? So if you don't just get in it, you can have a plan. What is it? Is it Mike Tyson or somebody says, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face, so sometimes you gotta do it. But you were right as far as you don't want to be too crazy and extreme with it, but just do it. And if it fails, or the only thing the only time you really fail is if you stop. So if you would have hired that first or second sales guy and you're like, oh, they didn't work out, I'm done, I'm just going to do it all myself and stay in the same situation, that's failure, because you quit. But you hired the one guy, he didn't work out. You hired another guy, he didn't work out. Now you've got some skin in the game. You've got some knowledge. You figured out what pieces may have worked, what pieces didn't work, what you need to do better. And you can apply that to everything. I mean, when I was starting my companies, I don't have a big, awesome, MBA from a great university. I grew up around construction. I saw how my dad and grandfather did it. I had a lot of buddies in my network that are in roofing and construction and, pool building and that kind of stuff. I worked for some pool builders coming, finishing up college and right out of college. So really just putting all those things together with some experience, but I had never started my own company or companies, and I just went and did it, sold some projects. And then I was like, oh crap, now, I got to fulfill these projects. I got to get, make sure my LLCs are tight. I got to get contracts in place, but it goes back to that imperfect action. Had I not just taken that leap and started it and just said, man, let me just go get some work, see if this is even a real thing. Let me go get some work. I didn't have sales decks. I didn't have pictures. I was just, people were just trusting me. But that bred the ongoing action, and that bred a better Facebook and Instagram, following and getting 5-star reviews, and then those things start moving. If I would have just sat there and waited for that stuff, that's not reality. That don't happen. I mean, you got to get moving on it for it to keep progressing. That's how it is.
You mentioned something really interesting, is like the moment that you lose is when you quit. So too many times I've seen, this is in construction, in business, and in life in general, nothing ever work out the first time. Nothing. And I think too many times when we hire coaches, when we hire mentor, and then it didn't work out the first time, and then you're like, why didn't it work out? Well, because that's life, like
Yeah.
and that's how you gain wisdom, right? And you have to keep trying. Like, it took me 3 4 times to find the right CPA firm. It took me 3 times to find a good marketing agency. It took me, this is probably my third time hiring a sales guy, and I fire probably like eight people in production already. Like, nothing will ever work out the way you wanted it to work out the first time, because if it is, God, man, everybody be rich already.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody be rich already, and that's the thing, is like, and then going back to the imperfect action. And I think what it is you gotta have two things for that to happen, right? And then you can expand on this a little bit, but you gotta have courage to take the action, because most of the time people don't take action because they are afraid of what might go wrong. They don't
Yep.
care about what might go right. So courage is the first thing, and second is faith. Faith,
Yep.
right? Faith. You got to have faith. When you have faith that either way it's gonna work out or it's not gonna work out, I want to gain something from it. So
Mhm.
therefore, I always take action, because there's there can't really be any bad consequences from taking action.
No, not unless you do something stupid or wrong to somebody, then you get in trouble. Uh, but yeah, I mean, you got to have courage. And I think with that is perseverance too, right? I mean, you just got to, because it's not going to go perfect the first time, and you got to keep pushing, keep trying. And that's what's probably one of the top things in business is having that mindset. And you're gonna get doors slammed in your face. You're gonna get no's. You're gonna get bad hires. You're gonna get subcontractors that don't show up. You're gonna run in. I mean, I'm in Houston. It's raining today. You're gonna have weather delays. So things are gonna happen. You got to keep moving. There's so much to come, getting through, having the courage and the perseverance to get through those challenges. You can't reap the rewards and reap those benefits if you stop. If you let's say a challenge is 100%, right? And at that 100%, that's where you get the rewards. That's where you get the benefits. Going through those challenges and hitting a weather delay, hitting a bad sales hire, a subcontractor doesn't show up, a customer, shorts you on their final payment. If you stop right there and quit, that you're never going to get to the other side. You're never going to get through that 100%. You get to 40%, 60%, and you stop. That's when you fail. That's when businesses don't work. You have to keep going. I mean, look, very vaguely, even look at Jesus in the New Testament, right? I mean, he took action and he just started going, and just started walking and picked up some hires, the disciples, and just faced a lot of challenges, kept going, right? And so that's really, courage and perseverance and getting through those challenges in business, in faith, in manhood, in life, in raising kids, in marriage. It's inevitable. I mean, so you can either mope and sit on the couch and scroll social media and feel sorry for yourself, or you get up and you walk in faith and take action and take and persevere through it. I mean, that's the big thing. And so I think you made a good point when you coupled those together, because having that faith, whatever that looks like for you as an individual, having that faith has a big impact on having the courage and perseverance to keep going. If you don't have faith that there's a lesson, you don't have faith that it is going to work out for the better, if you don't have faith that there is something on the other side of that challenge, I mean, it's going to be tough, right? I mean, you got to be optimistic and have faith and hope that there is something better over there. I mean, that's what keeps you going.
So you mentioned something that really, I think most people overlook is opportunistic. So in my experience, uh, I believe that I have a competitive advantages because I was born in a third world country, because I have a perspective of what will happen even if you try so hard that you can't move like up or down the social ladder, right? There's no rewarding for working hard per se. It's like there's no social economic movement, and there's no opportunity. There's no equal opportunity. There's opportunity, but it's not for you, right?
Mhm.
So I've seen what it is over there. So I have a unique perspective on why like it's so easy for me to take action, because here's why. Here's
Yep.
my perspective. This is one question that I ask myself. What is the worst thing that can happen? The worst thing that can happen when you take action, uh, action in business, in life general, right? For example, let's talk business. What's the worst can happen? Somebody sue you, you lose your business. There's bankruptcy law here. You got to keep your house, you got to keep your car, versus like somebody from Vietnam. There's no bankruptcy law. If you go out of business, they're gonna come take your house, they're gonna come take your car, they're gonna come take your business, they're gonna take your bank, they're gonna take your house saving. They don't have that protection over there. And I think a lot of the time people take that for granted here in America. Okay, and then believe it or not, we are the biggest socialist country in the world. Look at food stamp. Look at Section 8. Look at WIC. Look at all these programs that we have for the underprivileged and for people that just fell down on hard times, right? So that is the worst that can happen. Even if you fell down on hard time, that's the worst that can happen. But who to say that even if you go out of business, you didn't retain some sales skill, you didn't retain some marketing skill, you didn't retain some organizational skill that can you can go start another business. Like I mean,
Mhm.
that's is literally what American laws are made for. The tax law, the business law are geared for you to fail, are geared for you to save you when you fail. Like I I can't not think of another place where there is so many fucking opportunity here and people just squander it every single day.
Mhm.
Just do it for 6 months because when you 6 months is a long enough period of time where you're gonna see some compounding action in maybe your gym fitness or your business, right? That is when you kind of see all the fruit of your action and that will keep you going. But just do it for 6 months and see what happens. Just put your head down and it ain't even need to be that much. Just work on your business for 2 hours a day, uh, 2 hours a day. That's it. Just do that for 6 months and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, and the 6 month, if you break it down into 3 months, 6 months, you can even reverse engineer it, break it down more than that. Just wake up and do it for one day. Wake up and do it for 1 hour, right? I mean, that's all about what you were talking about earlier is taking that action and taking the first step. I mean, you can't get to 6 months if you don't get to 6 hours or 6 days or 6 weeks, so you have to start. I mean, you have to start. And it's something that I've gotten better with age or wisdom and experience, is just don't get paralysis by analysis.
Oh,
I mean, because there's so much, especially now, there's so much information, especially with social media algorithms. You start looking at, I'm sure you get hit with all kinds of stuff, being in certain groups and they figure out what you're interested in and searching for. And I mean, it can be overwhelming because you're like, dang, dude, there's like 20,000 different programs and all this stuff I could follow. How do I get this narrowed down? And so, I mean, I get it. It's hard, but you just gotta find what matches you, find something that you can focus on. And that's why my big thing is faith, family, focus. Find what you can focus on and just go at that and put blinders on, almost block out that noise and just focus on the next minute, the next hour, the next day. Because like you said, 6 months will come quick, and when you get to 6 months and you look back, you're not gonna dread the time you were in at that time, kind of like working out, right? Yeah, you may not always want to work out, and some days are harder than others. Some days, you do chest and back, or back and buys, and you love that. Some days you got to do core. Some days you do more cardio, legs, and you don't really like those as much, but you just do it 30 minutes, hour, whatever it is. Yeah, in that time you may not enjoy it as much, but when you're done, you're gonna feel good. And when you get a week, when you're in that time on Monday and you get to the next Monday, you don't even you don't even remember or recall what happened the previous Monday. It just you had a little maybe it sucked a little bit in that moment, but a week from now, 6 months from now, I mean, you're not gonna dread that, So just do it, and I mean, just get started in your 2 hour thing. Just work on your business for 2 hours a day. I mean, heck, start with 2 minutes or 20 minutes, and I promise that will compound, right? If you just don't overwhelm yourself, instead of saying, "Oh, I got to get to the gym for 2 hours today," you know, I have to work out for 45 minutes today. No, you get to, and set something that's smaller. If that overwhelms you, say, I get to work out, or I get to go on a walk for 15 minutes, and do that a little bit, and tell me that that doesn't turn into 30, 45 minutes. You get the headphones in, the weather's nice, you start walking for 15 minutes, you get it hooked into a podcast, and before you know it, you're 4 miles in.
Mm.
And so that's the same thing with from the business side. Just start with one. Start with one lead, follow up on that lead, get 10 more. You're going to get 1 or 2 sales from those 10. You should. Some people can get 3 or 4 sales, and then instead of 10, get 20, get 40, and just keep compounding and exponentially duplicating that. And that's, you don't set out to get 1,000 leads and 200 jobs, because that's just, you can have that as a, long-term goal, but you got to worry about getting 1 job. You got to worry about getting 2 leads, 10 leads, 1 job, 2 jobs, and then exponentially grow on that. You get a better presence, you start getting referrals. You got to start, and the other big thing, which I know, is very important to you as well, is you also got to you have to have a quality product or service. You've got to provide a good customer experience, so that, because you've probably seen it. It happens a lot in construction. These guys leave a company, they think they can start their own, they do bad work, or they take a deposit and they burn people, which I will never understand. It's just a horrible core value to, I can't even fathom that. But if you have a good quality product or service, and you start those little compounding things, that's when you've got some synergy, and that's when things really start taking off. So yeah, starting with that courage and faith, and putting all these other things, in that bucket, that's when you got something.
Man, that's so profounding. But do something every day, right? Do something every day, and just make sure that you moving towards something every single day. So a lot of time, Tommy, in the construction industry in general, guys in this industry, what I seen is, it's not that they don't want to do shit, right? They they want to do stuff. They doing stuff every single day. They work 12, 14 hours a day, sometimes 6, 7 days a week. But what I seen is they not doing the right thing, and I think my hypothesis is because they don't know what they want. They don't have clarity of where they want to go. They're just churning. Oh my God, I'm stuck here. I need to pay these bills. Job is running late, but I need to go sell more jobs, so I need to work later and later. So they're just stuck in this cycle. But now they never had a moment to look up and like, what the fuck do I want out of my life? What is the vision for what I have right now? What is the vision? Where do I want to take this company or this little business of mine in the next 25 years? Do I want to stay small and chill? Do I want more time with family? Do I want do I want to grow big, or do I want to be a staple in the industry? What does that look like, and how do I get there? And I think this go back to take, but if you don't take action, you're not going to have the time and the energy and the resources just to sit down to think about this. But because it didn't come to me right away. It take probably a lot of soul searching for some people, but this is important because when you have clarity, like, let's go, let's do
Mhm.
it, and even if you fail out of it, your vision will bring you back. Without vision, people will perish.
Yeah. Yeah. You've got to have some kind of clarity and vision, and small short-term incremental goals. And then those, like you said, those bigger goals. What I've noticed with myself and, a lot of other businesses is you may have these short-term and long-term goals. You start knocking out these short-term and the long-term ones change, right? Because again, you don't know what you don't know, and you get that experience, you get more success, or you fail more. You in those short-term goals, you learn more about what your long-term goals can and should be. And to your point of guys in this industry, really any industry, as a business owner, entrepreneur, especially when you're a solopreneur, and you don't have the team and resources and project managers and sales guys, which I was in that position. I mean, I think most guys starting construction companies, they're in that position for a while. And then you can kind of take off the tool belt, hopefully, and start working, on the business. But is that 12, 14, 16 hours, 7 days a week. One, you gotta set those boundaries and expectations from the jump. So yeah, setting those boundaries and expectations so that you can own your time, right? You've got to own your time. And to that 12-hour, 14-hour, 16-hour thing, part of that is just really not knowing, and not, like you said, not having that vision and clarification, and not really knowing your systems and processes and knowing what works. So you've got to make sure from those long days, those 12, 14-hour days, 6-7 days a week, that you're not just spinning in that cycle, and you're making note of, okay, I spent 3 hours on this. What did it get me? I spent 2 hours on this. What did it get me? Oh, those 2 hours got me 200% what those 3 hours got. That's where you need to, that's your block, right? I ran Facebook ads. I posted some stuff on Facebook and ran some ads to a lead gen, and that got me 20 leads and 2 sales. And it took me like 2 hours. I spent these 3 hours over here doing nothing, and it got me nothing. Let's not really focus on that. Let's turn these 2 hours that brought me leads and jobs. Let's do that for 4 hours, and take away from so now you just gained an hour and got way more out of it. See, so you were doing 3 hours of waste and 2 hours of production. That's 5 hours. Now you can take 2 from this waste, and now you picked up an hour. So now, you do that a little bit, and again, it's compounding and can also often be exponential to where, it builds on itself. And before you know it, realistically, I'd get up about 5, start knocking some stuff out, Bible study and exercise, 3-4 days a week and all those kind of things. And I mean, by 12 lunch, I mean, I still do things in the afternoon and, check on the guys and maybe run a sales lead or something like that. But by lunch, I mean, the core of my stuff is taken care of because of that experience and really building on being efficient. I mean, I can do more now in 4 or 5 hours than I could have done even a year ago in 10 hours. Just because and that goes back to that clarity and that focus. I mean, it's really, really about the clarity and focus. When you're clear on it, you know exactly what you want to do. When you focus on it, on that vision, and you've got the clarity and you focus on it, block out the distractions, you can hammer out so much more. And that's why I'm big on waking up early. Because, I've got 2 young kids, and guys start getting the jobs and need material. And, so 7:30, on, it gets real hectic, so that, getting up at 5, having those couple hours to knock out some stuff, and then, really hammer stuff from 7 to lunch, and then do whatever I need to do, after lunch. I'm still working, but it's not like wasted time, busy work, that's my time when, if I didn't work out in the morning, I can work out at that time. I can take a lunch meeting. I can run a sales lead. I can do some lead generation or some continuing education. I can be home or go pick up my son from preschool at 2:30, or be home for my son to get off the bus at 4:30. So it just gives you that freedom, gives you a little bit of flexibility when you got your systems and structure and clarity and vision and focus in place to be able to free up, some of that time. But it is possible, man. It is possible, because I was there before, and I'm not some, you know, uh, Steve Jobs, a construction guy. I mean, again, I don't have a big bad MBA, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I just learned and made it my focus, and my vision is to get to that point to where I can have a clarification and vision and focus on the business and get that stuff knocked out to free up your time. But it is, I mean, it's possible. It really is.
Man, that's so good. So that's I took some notes here, and the two things that I got from what you say was the first thing is leverage, right? So what activity is gonna give you the most leverage? And to me in the construction business, there's one thing that I'm focusing the most on right now, and I've been focusing on that the moment I started my business, which is we talk offline a little bit about marketing. Yeah, I focus heavy, 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 heavy on marketing and branding. And what do I mean when I say branding? It's not about a logo. It's not about anything like that. Branding is basically your reputation.
Yep.
Branding equal reputation time awareness. So is your reputation good? Are people aware you exist? That's literally it. That's my definition for branding. And branding is the high leverage activity that you can do for your business, but it takes time to build a brand because
Mm-hmm.
uh, a good brand will pull people into your business. So brand is when people talk about you, good or bad, when you're not in the room, right? So a good brand will have people that not in your organization talk about it when you're not. So
Mm-hmm.
it's the highest leverage, also the hardest activity to focus on, but you have to brand yourself, right? Whether or not putting yourself out there, having good client experience, make sure that people remember who the fuck you are. Because
Yep.
sometimes, like in construction industry, you do a job for them, you collect the final check, and they forgot who you are. Oh, who did my deck again? Who built my pool? Because you forgot to stay on top of them. So now say if you're an outdoors guy, you did a pool for Mrs. Jones, and you come back and fuck that bro did their pergola and deck. What the fuck? Why didn't they call me? Well, they didn't. They forgot about you. That's how
Yep.
quick people is. Like, okay, you think you cool? They deal with pool company. They deal with the pool boy. They deal with the fucking grass cutter. They deal with the tiler. They deal with the bathroom guy. They deal
Yep.
with the fucking roofer. They deal with the cider. Like, who the fuck are you? Like, why do people have to remember you? That's the first thing. And the second thing is you gotta have a good product. People, so it's a status game, right? People is not going to recommend their friends and family somebody shit, somebody that show up late, somebody that get the job done late, somebody that doesn't go back and fix their mistake. So branding is hard, but it's the activity that you do every day. And then marketing is just letting people know about your brand. Let people know about your company. What are you doing daily to generate a lead? So what are
Mm-hmm.
you doing daily to do lead generation, lead conversion, and lead follow up? You got to be doing something that satisfy those three every single day. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you send 10 texts to open lead and say, hey, did you get your shit done yet? Did you get a deck done? Did you get your pool done? Did you get help yet? Even so that's lead follow up. Okay, lead generation. Did you post online? Did you post on Google My Business? Did you upload pictures? Did you check on an ad to see if it's performing or not? Did you do any of that? Did you shoot some content? All right, that's every day. And lead conversion. Did you sell anything? You follow up and convert anything. What does why people not buying? Do you know that? Do you have financing to help people with money? Like all of this stuff is high leverage opportunity because once you get money into your business, then you can hire people. And the thing about
Mhm.
hiring is people don't like to work for the company that they don't know where the next job's gonna come.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
uh, and then the second thing is priority. Like where your priority at? And most of the time, like when I first beginning in construction back in 2020, I puffed my chest that I wake up at 6. I fucking work until 8 p.m. You know, like ooh, I'm bad. I'm working hard. I'm grinding. But that's the wrong thing to grind on. That's the wrong thing to be proud of. Let me tell you. And then I ended up breaking my leg 1 month in, 8 p.m., wearing myself
Yeah.
down, like, and it's dark, I shouldn't be working anymore. I should be at home having dinner with my family, but I didn't. So, but that's a blessing in disguise. That forced me to hire people, right? So leverage and priority and I mean, once you have like, I mean, in construction, is the bar is so low to where if you just do a little bit of marketing and branding, you'll be up here and your life will change.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you gotta have the leads and conversions and everything, but it's also depending on the type of company you want to have and the size and how much you want to scale. And you mentioned that, like that goes back to vision and having clarity. Like what do you want out of the business? Do you want it to be a lifestyle business? Do you want it to be, a big, thing that you can take to private equity and all that? What are you wanting to do? Uh, and for me, I want a sustainable business that provides that I can be proud of, whether that's ends up growing to 10 million or stays somewhere kind of where we're at, as long as it provides and I've got good people and we're providing a great customer experience, because I don't want to scale to 10 million, 20 million if we're not providing the same kind of that family owned customer experience. And you hit on it, is as soon as you finish up that job and you get that final check or whatever it is, the customer, they're enjoying the space, but they're kind of on to the next thing. And so having the leads, it's important to where are those leads coming from, because if you have 100 leads that are just not in your geographical area, or whatever it may be, and they're just kind of level one tire kicking type leads, that's not really helping you out all that much. Maybe over 6 months or a year you can try to nurture those if you've got those systems in place, but you've got to have those systems in place. So it's really important to the quality of those leads, and that's big for me. You want some quantity, but there's got to be a balance, and I'm more about quality. And when you do the right branding and you do the right marketing, you have a high quality product, and you do right by the customer. If you go above and beyond, and you under promise to overperform, and you outkick your coverage, so to speak, and you provide a 100% or 150% customer experience, that's your best marketing. That is your best lead. I can't even tell you, and it doesn't happen immediately, but nowadays we're blessed, very blessed, because we've put in those things and put in the work, and we go above and beyond to provide that customer experience. That referrals are a key part of any business, especially in construction, and especially in my business. Most of the jobs, I mean, I'm going to look at one right after our call, because I did work for a customer on a street in the Woodlands. They saw what I was doing, so now we're doing the next door neighbor's driveway and pool deck. The people behind them, I'm in the middle of building a gable patio for him. And his brother just moved back from California that lives like 3 minutes away. And we just built a patio for him, and so that's where it's at, because you get 10 leads, you might get one sale, if you're lucky, two sales. You get two referrals, you're going to get one or two sales. So referrals are harder to get, but that is, your close ratio is sky high. You're going to close 70-80% of those typically. So you're right on the branding and marketing, and a big part of that branding and marketing is the product you're putting out to go with that brand. If you're pushing your brand and pushing your marketing and you got a crap product and a bad customer experience, you're just spinning your wheels. If you do some branding and marketing and lead gen advertising to go with 5-star reviews and customer experience and references and referrals, that's when you're cooking. That's big.
Right. And product branding, product branding, marketing, sales. Sales is always the lowest leverage opportunity because it's one-on-one. Marketing is one too many. Branding is many come to one. And products, it's a good product, people will automatically buy it, right? If you need a vacuum, you're gonna have one in your house, right? You need a washer and dryer, you're gonna have one in your house, right? And the key thing that really helped me out in my business is, first of all, have a good client experience, but second of all is, we make sure that our client don't forget about us.
Yep.
And we do that by sending them small gift, like every quarter,
Mm-hmm.
and then here's the cool thing that we figure out. Once we send those gift without asking for referrals, right? Because if you ask, it's not really a gift anymore. So once you send those gift, people own you something. It's law of reciprocity, right? People are apt to do something nice for you. And then the referrals is not just direct referral. You know how those neighborhood Facebook neighborhood group, the next doors group, you're not in all of them. You can't be. There's just too many of them. But you can influence your client to talk about you, to have brand impression point before they even contact your company. So you know how they say you need 7 to 10 impression point. That's how you create those impression point. It's not from you. It's from people
Mm-hmm.
that you did the work for, of their friend that might have enjoyed the school or whatever. So then, you know, you stay on top of mind, and your brand, every time you send those gift out, your brand is gonna heat up in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And that's when you run the ad to
Yep.
capture those attention. And those are hot lead. But ad is just there to capture those lead, because people always need some shit. There's always a graduation party, a July 4th party. Every season there's a fucking holiday. So that's how we were able to kind of uh how do I say that? Weaponize the know, like, and trust factor,
Mm-hmm.
and familiarize everybody with Deck Bro, with our brand. But most people won't do it when I tell them what I do. Oh, well, why would you do that? You already done the job for them. I'm like, here's why. Uh, you know how they say, model your perfect client. That's how you do it. Because if I did a job for a doctor, you know what happened? Oh, he happened to know 20 more doctors. You know, if I did a job for a guy that worked at Merrill Lynch, that is a financial advisor and got buku money, chances are he hanging out with 20 guys like that. If I did a job for, like the list goes on and on and on and on, right? And you gotta get in these people's circle. You gotta, get in their community. You gotta get into their church. You gotta get into their dinner table.
Mhm.
You cannot let people forget about you. And I think that's one of the key things that people forget about, like marketing, branding. It's not about digital marketing. I think that's a big part, but like the silent killer, the people that always dominate the market is they got the relational marketing down.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Is relational. I mean, that's one of our probably our biggest core value is the relational and building that trust. Because most of the families we work with, we are a big part. We're my wife is from here. I'm from the Houston area. My dad and grandfather had a small company here. Not It's about an hour, but still in the Houston area. We're in the community. We're in the church. It's not just a transactional. You can't look at it as just purely transactional. Well, I guess you can, but it's just not going to, it's not going to work out very well. You're going into people's homes to try to get them to trust you, to give you a good chunk of money to work on their house, and it's a space of kind of no different than us as business owners and entrepreneurs and, parents, and we've got bills to pay, we've got stresses. They do too, right? And the deck or the pool or the patio or the kitchen that you're building is kind of their little piece of peace, right? I mean, and so that's where you have to look at it as a service that you're doing for the customer. It's not just, oh, I got this sale, I'm about to make $20,000. It's transactional. That's part of it. But if you chase that, it's going to be a long chase, and so if you chase the service part, and that goes back to that faith and Christianity and biblical stuff as well. If you are of service in any business, the other things will follow.
Mm.
So if you make that your core value, and that trust and that relationship and that service, that customer experience, and as you mentioned, that's got to be before, during, and after the sale. It can't just be during the sale. Like, oh, we got your project done in 3 weeks. Here's my final check. Send us your neighbor. Like that. That's just transactional, and it's not relational. So building that trust and relationship is big, and just finding little things. Y'all are both Houston Texans fans, or you both have small kids, or naturally find those things that you can just connect with and build that relationship. I've got customers that we still talk, and we're I would call them friends, and we end up coaching, our kids are on the same teams, or whatever transpires from it. And your point of doing those little gifts, even once or twice a year, but if you can do it once a quarter, I do that kind of stuff. And even if it's not a gift, just like I sent out some Christmas cards that were legit Christmas cards that I hand wrote in. They weren't some, crap Vistaprint, generic stuff. I went and wrote some notes of appreciation. I mean, I got so many texts, and probably I'd have to go back, but I'm sure I got some referrals, some more testimonies, 5-star reviews. And like you said, you're not going at them asking for that. You hope that's the end game, but it's just, doing something nice for people and showing your appreciation because they're the reason that you have your house. They're the reason that you can put food on the table. You got to remember that. That's your lifeline. And some customers and some days are going to be harder than others. I mean, that's just nature of life, nature of business. But if you keep that at the forefront, I mean, especially after, that's a great point, that doing those things, providing a good experience during it, but then continuing to do that after, one, it's just a nice thing to do for people, and two, they're going to reciprocate, right? And because you're going to be on their mind. Like even these jobs I was mentioning up here in my area, we're doing some within a couple mile radius. And so, I'll go check on the job, talk with the current customer, but then I'll drive around to, one or two of the other homes that we've done work for, just see if I can catch them outside or, go knock and just say hi. Thank you for, sending me your neighbor, or whatever it is. Thank you for, I got a message from, hypothetically, I got a message from somebody that said that they saw your post in your Facebook neighborhood group, just want to, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. That kind of stuff. There ain't a Facebook ad, there ain't an Instagram ad, there ain't a reel, there ain't a picture that you can post that beats that.
Right.
You can't. So that relational stuff before, during, and after is, that, especially in our line of work, that's where it's at. 100%.
Well, man, I wish we had a little bit more time here to talk, but that's some good information to get people started. So basically, what I wrote down is take action, get some clarity, take some more action, get good client experience, build some relationship and collect some money and do it over again, right? And have some faith in all that, some faith. So whatever that look like to you, but whatever that's look like to you, have some faith and courage because it can't be that bad.
No, it's
Right.
never as good or bad as you think. So
Yeah. So what is what is one thing that you think went well for you in 2023, and what is one thing that you like to change from 2023 going into 2024?
yeah, so it's kind of like you breaking your leg. I had a couple situations in 23 that while I was in them, it wasn't fun, but getting through that, back to that challenge, persevering and getting through it and having faith and coming out on the other side, it was a blessing in disguise. So that would be it. But that kind of goes hand in hand, is making sure in 24 I continue on this path of being of service and faith, and putting my faith in Christ and my family and making that my focus. And that's why I'm faith family focused, because I've just got that ingrained in my head that's because there's so much that means to me. There's a lot that is encompassed in those three words for me. And so that would be my big thing for 24, is just not forgetting those three words to keep me out of situations that were in prior years, and learning from those challenges. Cause there were times that were harder than others. And I'm sure that people listening to this have probably experienced, some people have experienced similar things where you're stuck in that cycle, and you think, man, is this ever going to end? Should I quit? Blah, blah, blah. And then you have that faith, and you push through it, and you persevere, and you come out on the other side, and things are, that's where you can really turn it on, get your mindset right, get back to being of service, and not forgetting those things, because that's when you can start kind of going backwards, going the other way. Just keep day by day, little by little, stacking those wins and stacking those habits, and just keep on that mission.
Wow, man. Hey, I appreciate you coming on, man. It's a lot of wisdom being shared today, and we'll catch up soon, man. Have a great weekend. God bless you.
You too, man. Appreciate it.
Mhm.
I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler.